Hello again everybody and welcome to the channel. Today I thought I would run through some frequently asked questions that many RC-600 users are asking. So we're going to kick off with this one first of all. My input effects are set to all, but I can't hear them after they've been recorded to the track. Why? Well, the answer is this. So depending on how you've got things routed, i.e. instrument 1 to track 1 or mic 1 to track 2, etc., the all insert will probably not work. So you can fix this by changing the insert to a specific input. Let's do it like this. Press loop a couple of times. You will find your input effects here. Select input effects. Select the input effect that you're having issues with. Page across to the left-hand side. You will see that if your insert is set to all, this is probably going to be causing your issues. Change that to a specific input, i.e. mic 1 in this case, and your input effects should work on that track. Next question. Can I use one foot switch to control multiple parameters, such as turning on or off 2 or more effects at the same time? Simply put, yes you can. You can use an assign to do this. You don't necessarily even need to use 2 assigns to control 2 different things. Remember, the onboard foot switches and any foot switch inserted into the control expression input at the back will have multiple options to control specific parameters. So that's certainly something worth remembering to save and assign where you need to. But in this case, let's just go and do it with an assign. But in this example, we're going to use this foot switch to turn on or off 2 effects at the same time. Let's go into menu, we'll press it 2 times, we'll enter our assigns. I always like to turn it on first, so I'm going to turn this assign on. I'm going to press it down, and you can see I've got pedal 1, mode 1 selected. I'm going to leave it on toggle, page across to the right, and I've got input effects A. Come out of that, go across to assign 2, turn this one on. In there we go, pedal 1, mode 1, which is this foot switch here, page across to the right, and I've got input effects B. So all being well, you should now see me push this foot switch, and I'll have input effect A and B turn on simultaneously. There we go. On and off, on and off. How can I stop my mic recording to the track? Well, it's quite easy to do. We're going to go into the track setting and enable or disable which instruments are being recorded to that specific track. We do this as follows. Press loop. Select the track that you don't want your microphone being recorded to, in this case track 2. Page all the way across to the right hand side and just turn off your mics. If you're using 2 mics, turn them both off. Obviously, you can do this with instruments and the rhythm as well, if you wish. Are the RC-600 outputs balanced or unbalanced? Well, all 6 outputs at the back of the unit are unbalanced, but you can of course use a DI box before your mixer if you wish, but the use of a DI is only necessary if you're using a particularly long cable run. If like me, you're running your guitar into a small or medium sized pedal board and then out again to a mixer close by, you shouldn't really experience any issues with noise, so the use of a DI isn't necessary, but of course you can use one if you wanted to. How do I make sure my loops start from the beginning of their cycle? Well, this is certainly something that gets asked quite a lot. So let's say I've got a 4-bar loop recorded on track 1, as you can see here, and a 2-bar loop recorded on track 2. Now, they are in sync with each other, but regardless of when I press play on the second track, it might start partway through the cycle. So the only time I'll ever get my 2-bar loop to start from the beginning is if I press it right at the beginning of this cycle or halfway through this cycle. But let's say that I always want track 2 to play back from the beginning of its cycle, regardless of where we are in this loop. It is possible. What we're going to do is we're going to press loop. We're going to select the track that we want it to be applied to, in this case track 2. I'm going to page across to loop sync. You can see I've got loop sync turned on, and at the moment it's set to loop length, which is probably causing the issues. So if we just change that to measure, now what we can do when we go back here and press play, regardless of where we are in this first loop, this one will always play back from the beginning of its cycle. So what I'll do is I'll wait till measure 2. I'm going to play this one back here, and you can see it's playing back from the beginning. I'll wait till measure 4, which is there, and it's always playing back from the beginning. Can I record multiple instruments to separate tracks at the same time? Well, you can record multiple instruments simultaneously to the same track, but it's not currently possible to record to more than 1 track at the same time. Well, certainly not with the latest firmware 1.3. Can I copy my assigns to different memories? Well, one thing you could do is to create a template that you're happy with, containing all of your required settings, such as your inputs, outputs, EQ adjustments, etc., and your assigns, and then copy that memory to a different location. You could, of course, make any adjustments that you wanted to in that particular memory, i.e. changing the layout of the foot switches, etc., but the assigns are still there if needed, and you didn't need to set them up again manually. Of course, you would need to do this for each of your memories, which can be very time consuming. Now, there is the RC editor, which is a fantastic tool to have in your arsenal, and it can do many things, including copying your assigns to all 99 memories with a single click of the mouse. So check out this video I made on the RC editor up here, and there is also a link in the description below. But let's say I want to use this as a template to move to a different memory location. And in here, I've also got some assigns, 1, 2, 3, 4, that I want to move to a different memory. So let's say I'm happy with everything in this memory, and I just want to copy and paste it to a different memory location. This is memory number 58, as you can see. I'm going to hit enter and exit together at the same time. I'm going to press right, and instead of saving it to 58, I'm going to move that to 59. I'll hit enter again, and now all of those settings are on memory 59 and memory 58. So that's it for this batch of FAQs. If you've got any more questions, leave them in the comments below. I will sift through them in due course and hopefully make more videos like this one. If you haven't already subscribed, do consider subscribing to the channel to stay in the loop, and I will see you in the next one. Ta-ta!